This is the purple mattress. It's a clean, modern-looking king-size slab with a low 9.25-inch profile, rounded edges, and a soft, stretchy white cover that moves with the surface. From my experience, the first touch is unlike a typical foam bed. The top feels springy and elastic, almost like a flexible net under a thin fabric, and that unusual feel sets the tone for everything that follows. Unboxing was simple, but the mattress is heavy at about 100 pounds, so plan for 2 people to move it and let it expand on a flat foundation. I did notice a new mattress smell for the first day or two. It wasn't harsh in my space and it faded after airing the room, but it's worth mentioning if you're sensitive. Once it settled, the cover looked tight and the corners filled out properly to the full 76 by 80 inches. The core of what makes this mattress different is the GelFlex Grid. Think of it as a lattice made of a rubbery, hyper-elastic polymer. When my body weight spreads out, the grid holds me up, but when pressure concentrates, like at my shoulders and hips, the walls of the grid buckle down to make a pocket. That's the big idea. Firm where I need support, soft where I need relief. There's a thin, stretchy cover on top so the grid can move freely, then a softer transition foam, then a denser base foam that keeps the whole thing stable. Around the edges, there's firmer foam to reinforce the perimeter, a tweak the brand made after earlier versions felt too floppy at the sides. The feel is a bit of a paradox. I get a buoyant lift with a squishy give right under pointy areas. I don't sink slowly like memory foam. The mattress snaps back the moment I move. That responsiveness stands out when I change positions. I never feel stuck, and that quick rebound makes the bed feel lively. Motion isolation is still surprisingly good. When I plop down on one side, the initial shock gets absorbed, so small movements don't jolt across, though a soft ripple can linger for a moment. For couples, that balance of calm and bounce is a strong point. Key features that matter most to me are pressure relief, temperature control, and that mix of responsiveness with motion control. On pressure relief, the grid really does cradle shoulders and hips when I'm on my side. I get the sensation of being supported and cushioned at the same time, which help my shoulder feel less pinchy after long days. On temperature, the open grid lets air flow, and the bed doesn't trap heat like dense foams. I run warm, and this stayed neutral for me, sometimes even cool when I first got in. On support, the center of the bed holds me well, but the edges are only okay. The foam rails around the perimeter are a major improvement over older models. Yet when I sit to tie shoes or sleep right on the edge, I can still feel a bit of slide or dip. From my experience, firmness depends a lot on body weight and sleeping position. On my side at an average build, the bed feels medium to medium firm at first touch, but it softens in exactly the zones that need relief, so my spine lines up. On my back, my hips sink just enough while my lower back stays supported, which is what I look for to keep my lumbar calm. On my stomach, I need a flatter, firmer surface to keep my hips from drifting down. This bed feels a little too giving for me there, so I'm mindful to shift back to my side. If I were very light, I could see it feeling firmer and a bit on top, because the grid may not buckle as easily. If I were over 230 pounds, I'd expect great pressure relief, but I'd be watching overall support and alignment, and I'd probably test a purple hybrid with coils for extra pushback under the grid. Durability is where I did the most homework. The grid material itself is designed to be extremely resilient, and structurally it should last a long time. In real life, owner experiences seem split. I've seen many reports of excellent comfort for years, but I've also run into reports of early body impressions and sagging, even from lighter folks. I haven't owned this long enough to speak to multi-year wear, so I'm flagging it because consistency matters. In my opinion, the comfort and cooling are real wins, but you should factor in the risk that your long-term experience could vary. I also checked how warranty claims are handled. Some buyers say the process is smooth, while others describe a lot of back and forth with measurements and photos. If long-term support is your top priority, I'd keep careful records, use a proper base, and add a protector from day one. For sizing and specs, this king measures 76 by 80 by 9.25 inches and weighs about 100 pounds. It's made in the USA, carries the model number 10-2123632, and has a 4.4 out of 5 average from a couple hundred published ratings when I last checked. It's listed among mattresses in home and kitchen, not discontinued, and first appeared a while back, so it's a mature design with some revisions along the way, including the edge support update. It's perfect for me when I want pressure relief without that slow sinking memory foam feel. I sleep warm and the airflow is noticeable. I also move around a lot, and the fast response makes that easy. If I were a dedicated stomach sleeper or on the heavier side, I'd be cautious with this specific all-foam version. If I needed a very firm edge to sit on or share a smaller bed, I'd manage expectations about the perimeter. If I wanted the same grid feel with more backbone, I'd test the coil-backed hybrid. I'd recommend this for someone who runs hot at night, sleeps mostly on their side or back, prefers a responsive surface, and wants targeted pressure relief at the shoulders and hips. If you're curious about the GelFlex Grid, this mattress is the most direct way to try it. From my experience, there's a short adjustment period where the grid feel goes from strange to natural, and then it becomes hard to go back to traditional foam because you notice how much cooler and livelier this feels. If you're sensitive to edge stability, prefer a flat, ultra-firm stomach sleeping surface, or you're concerned about long-term impressions, you may want to sample the hybrid or compare a few options side by side. In my opinion, the Purple Mattress King delivers on its key promises: pressure relief without stickiness, standout temperature neutrality, and a responsive, bouncy top that still calms most motion. The unique feel is the selling point and the biggest reason some people love it and others don't. I respect that it's not for everyone, and that's okay. Beds are personal, and this one has a very distinct personality. In conclusion, the Purple Mattress King is a strong choice for heat control and comfort if you like a springy, cradling surface. I enjoy the grid's mix of cushion and support and the way it helps my shoulders on side nights while keeping my back happy on my back. I'm mindful about the edge, and I'd keep an eye on long-term wear, but the daily sleep experience is genuinely comfortable and cool for me. If you've been curious about a mattress that feels different from memory foam while keeping your temperature stable, this is worth testing. If this video helped, please subscribe and drop your questions or your own experience in the comments. Thank you for watching.